guys, it's Jenny. I thought we'd catch up and do a Q&A because it has been almost 3 years since the last one and I was still living in Shanghai. So there is a lot to catch up on. I asked on Instagram for some questions. You can follow me here if you would like. And we also have 2 very special guests today.
Hi, I'm Gabby.
Hi, I'm Molly.
And we are the Powerpuff Girls.
Okay, Jenny, first question. When are you moving to Sydney?
It's quite obvious that I do really enjoy Sydney. Melbourne is definitely my home, but I do feel like Sydney has quite good opportunities for entertainment-wise and acting-wise. But I think I might try it out for a month or 2 next year and then see what happens. But also, I need to save money because Sydney is so expensive.
Do you think you'll ever move to Shanghai/China again someday?
So I initially planned on moving to Shanghai for about 2 years. It took me much longer to finish my uni degree than anticipated, almost 5.5 years, but we got there. So I did stay there for almost triple the time that I was planning to. And I feel like when you're an expat in a kind of foreign city, you either stay the 2 years and leave or you go to 5 years, and then it gets really hard to leave and it gets really hard to re-assimilate back home. So I want to say that I wanted to go back and forth between China and Australia for work, but obviously that situation is quite impossible right now. So for the time being and for the foreseeable future, I don't see myself moving back to Asia, but I would love to be able to work there and go there quite frequently again, just because, you know, my parents are getting old, my dog, my cat, my partner's all here, and it does get a bit tiring and kind of strenuous on life having to go back and forth heaps as well.
Just following that question as well, what is your fave Shanghai dish?
Shanghai, yeah. You learn a new word today. So Shanghai, I really like bu mi, which is ban mian, and usually they have like this peanut sauce with vinegar in it, and it's like a dry noodle dish and they mix it all up, and usually you have it for breakfast. And also, like, there's so many good breakfast foods. There's like du, which is like a deep fried dough stick and it's wrapped in sugary rice, and sometimes they put pork floss on it and it's really yummy. And there's also like the wugu tonyosi, which
yum!
You understood that one?
Yes.
I want to study, not me, this person wants to study at Shanghai Theatre Academy. Jenny, can you please upload about it?
Why wouldn't you want to study at Shanghai Theatre Academy, Molly? I mean, it'd be a great opportunity for you to try out those Shanghai dishes. But I have uploaded a few videos about it. I'll link it in the cards up above and I'll put it in the description box down below. I don't have any recent videos about it because I did audition like 6 years ago and I feel like a lot has changed, so it is probably great for you to read up on the website of the most current audition requirements. And also, speaking of videos I've filmed about, I got a few questions about Taobao orders as well. I will also link them down below and in the cards up here, because if I had to talk about Taobao in this video, I think Gabby and Molly might just pass out until tomorrow because it would take forever.
Actually, I will be taking notes because I want those cute pleated plates as well. So I will also be watching the videos linked down below. Jenny, this is a juicy question for you. Any plans to get married? When do you know your partner was the one? Do you see marriage soon? And kids? How do you and your boyfriend meet? How did you and your boyfriend meet? Any wedding bells soon? Kids in the future? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Jenny, answer up, come on!
All I want to say on the marriage questions is I want to have a really extravagant, lavish, beautiful, romantic wedding. And I know that's not the most important thing in the world, but I've been dreaming and planning of my wedding since I was like 4 years old. So I need to have a lot of money saved before that. And as of right now, I have about $36 in my account. So when I'm financially ready, I will.
I can imagine Jenny being like those extravagant brides, you know, the one on the swing. There's that Facebook video of the bride on the swing, like that was her entrance and she's just like just descending down.
I would also need like 4 to 5 dresses.
One for every hour, obviously.
And I met my boyfriend at the club.
Oh,
I did not know that,
scandalous.
actually.
Yeah.
If you weren't acting or doing stuff on social media, what would you be doing with your life?
That's a true question because I'm not doing acting at the moment.
Touche!
My fellow actors know what it feels like. So I've wanted to do acting for as long as I can remember, ever since I was a little child. So I can't really imagine myself doing anything else. I've always said I'd rather try for the rest of my life and be subpar than to give up. But in an alternate reality, I think maybe something in marketing or how there's a lot of new jobs opening up in the social media space. I think that'd be really fun and very hip and happening right now. What about you guys? Gabby, you're such an amazing makeup artist, and Molly, you can write like nobody's business. You could do script writing, article writing. She's the best at emails as well. If anyone ever needs help writing an email, forget Grammarly, get Molly Daniels.
I'm releasing my own Chrome extension. It's called Molly. You can check it out.
Oh, sign me up.
I do love writing, and that is probably, I would say I'm even more of a writer than I am an actor, because yeah, acting, very inconsistent. But yeah, I don't know, probably still something where I get to write stuff down. Ooh, or like an English teacher. That would be really fun.
I can totally see you as that fun, hip English teacher. What's that movie with the curly head, not movie, like a cartoon? The Magic School Bus, and you drive the kids around and you teach them English and grammar.
Miss Frizzle, I would love to be Miss Frizzle.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would be pursuing makeup. I'm really not sure, actually, because I guess that's something I just like fell into and I'm good at. You can look at me bragging, I'm good at it, but...
No,
So
but
good.
she is. Like, she had to do my makeup for the photo shoot, and I was like, I have literally never looked better in my whole life. Thank you, Gabby.
But yeah, I guess I would be pursuing makeup. I've always wanted to do more like editorial-based stuff, so... But it is really hard, I think, to juggle two things, and a lot of people don't take that into consideration, that freelance work is hard work. You have to promote yourself as a business, and I didn't really have time to do that at this point in my life while I'm pursuing other things.
Because we are all dog owners of some very cheeky puppies. What is the most difficult part of being a dog owner?
Look, well, I'm a very needy person, so for me, it's like making sure my dog loves me the most. If they don't love me, if they love someone else in my family more, it's about winning them over and giving them more food when no one's looking, and just giving them the most cuddles, and just basically doing whatever it takes to get to number one. That's what being a dog owner is to me.
Oh, well, I have two cheeky boys, actually. One is like my parents' dog and one is my partner's dog, so technically I don't have a dog and I just pretend that I do. But my parents got a puppy. His name is Stanley, and I have never ever once had a male dog in my life, and it was honestly a challenge because I have never been hurt that badly by a little puppy, and it like Molly said, the worst thing is to possibly, worse than rejection is probably have a dog hate you or a dog hump you, and at the moment Stanley's there. And on the other hand, Azula is the cutest little Shar-Pei. She's 5 years old. She's a very stinky girl, but she is an absolute angel that has separation anxiety. So it's one or the other. I cannot really choose.
So my puppy is Poppy, and it's actually Gabby's, Stanley's distant...
Something
we're not
like
sure what
that.
the actual relations is. But this is my first time having a girl pet, and damn, they are sassy. They're much more emotional. Like, if I tell her off, she just barks at me. She sulks all the time. Love it a bit, but definitely the most hardest part is like when they pee and poo everywhere. Had to buy a goddamn Bissell machine to clean up after her. It is really fun. And then you have to discipline them, and then their little ears drop and they look at you and they're like, why would you do this to me? And then you're like, okay, I guess you can keep peeing and pooing on the carpet.
What's that machine called again that sucks up the liquid?
So it's the Bissell Spot Clean. I just got one recently. It sprays like some sort of stain remover, and then you suck it all up. So if you have a doggy with a lot of potty mistakes on carpet, I highly recommend it.
I saw that on Jenny's story last night, and I was like, I want carpet just so I can use that. And then I dreamt I had carpet, and I was so happy because then I could use the thing. And then I woke up and I was like, it's not real.
Now
I
she's
don't
got to
have
change
carpet.
houses. So the big C question, how has COVID changed your life?
I'm a writer, as I said, so I'm very lucky that like a lot of the work that I was doing was able to continue. And actually the Australian government, who fund so much writing stuff, were really good at putting more money into writing opportunities and development. So I think I have, obviously just the way the world changed was really upsetting, but I was really lucky in my own job that I was able to keep working because yes, so many jobs were impacted, and obviously like acting was very impacted. I don't know, Gabby, maybe you can speak more to that.
Yeah, definitely acting in general. I mean, we were all in LA March 2020, and we all had to kind of come home and give up on our dreams and come home and cry. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely been such a hurdle because there's normally a bit of a timeline with acting. There's pilot season, a bit of a break, they shoot the pilots, bit of a break, then they cast feature films or like greenlit shows. I might get that wrong, but there was just like a lot of a shift in the timeline where there wasn't really a pilot season this year, and then now June, July, it's probably the busiest I've ever experienced in the 7 years that I've been auditioning in my life. So it really, like, who knows what's going on. It's so good that productions are still going ahead, and now that, because, they're probably going to show that there are ways to shoot around COVID. But yeah, it's definitely been a really odd time, and I think everyone is just as confused and no one really knows what's going on.
And despite all of the bad things happening with COVID and heaps of businesses unfortunately having to shut down, this might sound weird, but because I'm a homebody, I really enjoy staying at home. I thought there was a really kind of nice sense of peace knowing that everyone around the world was kind of all in this together and everyone was staying at home trying to stay safe. And for once I felt like we weren't all trying to play catch up, and like places where there hadn't been blue skies forever were blue skies, and places that hadn't had like animals visit forever had animals. Like, I feel like nature was kind of resetting itself and a lot of people had the time to stay at home and reflect on everything. So we've got a question about the show Celebration Nation, which is what we're actually here to promote. Congrats on the new show. We're diving straight into it. Is there something you would do differently if you had the chance? And don't say not work with each other.
Damn it. Okay, I gotta go. It's so interesting because I definitely think while we were in it, the whole time I was like, I'm never producing again. This is the hardest thing I've ever done. It's so difficult. And to be fair, like, this is the first time I've produced anything and now produce something with money. Like, it was something that was, at the time, I felt like a task that I bit off more than I could chew. But now sitting on the other side and after taking a few months off, I'm sure, I feel like, hey, that was actually achievable. We worked really well as a team and all of us just kind of took responsibility on what we could do. And yeah, it was really, really helpful, I think, working with each other. What I would do differently is probably just take COVID into consideration, I guess, because from the start, we pitched this thing in maybe March, and we thought we could shoot March 2020, and we thought that we could shoot in September 2020, and we were being very ambitious because Melbourne was in a second hard lockdown. And yeah, things have just been pushed and shoved, and throughout this whole process, we've just learnt to go with the flow. Don't be too upset if something doesn't happen. And yeah, it's just literally, who knows when COVID's gonna end, and so you just gotta roll with the punches. And if you got to cancel something, if you got to change the way you market your show, that's just what you got to do. And it hasn't been, we haven't can't say that. We haven't hated each other yet. So, I think like it still works.
And also just to not feel nervous or scared to ask for questions, ask for help. Even though if they seem like the silliest questions ever, we've really got to give a shout out to Screen Australia, especially Lee, for answering every single one of our questions, from like tax to like, how do we do a contract? Oh, we have to make a company. How do we do that? Definitely just ask all the questions you can and be flexible.
What is the most insane thing you had to do for Celebration Nation?
Oh, I mean, we did a lot of weird stuff. Gabby wore a nappy. I danced on the floor. Like, there was all this kind of crazy stuff, but that's kind of what you sign up for when you're acting. I do probably think the most insane thing was that due to some COVID concerns, to mention it again, we had to cancel a whole day of shooting. And how much exactly did that cost us, Jenny, in the end?
So it was called the most expensive sick day in the world, and your girl Gabby,
you're welcome,
rang it in at almost $20,000 for that one day.
When you're on set, you have to give people warning before you cancel the following day of shooting. And if you don't cancel it 24 hours before, you still have to pay them for the day of shooting. And we didn't quite have the 24-hour window, and because of things like COVID, we had to have these big plans in place for like, can you shoot? If someone's got a high temperature, they can't come on set, all this stuff. And our girl Gabby, she had that high temperature. She could not come on set as per the rules that she helped write.
Yeah, so we had to pay everyone, we had to postpone, we had to lease the location over the weekend because it was a Friday. Also really amazing timing. And then we had to lease the camera equipment. And you know what? Camera equipment costs more than people. Like, it's crazy how much it costs. Thank you, Screen Australia, for letting us finish this series. And thank you, Gabby, for giving us this awesome story to tell.
Thanks. You're welcome, guys. I know, like, I'm really the star of the show. I don't know what you'd do without me, honestly, but you're welcome.
Since you're such a star, next question for you. What's it like being on the other side of the camera? Because you did mention earlier that it was your first time producing, writing, same for me as well. It's a crazy experience. I don't know how you do it, Molly.
It was really it was really hard. I'm not even gonna lie, and like, I don't know, what's the phrase? Put on rose-colored glasses. Like, it was so hard. I'm just honestly so thankful that we had Molly there with us, just to hold our hand, because Molly has produced before, and me and Jenny have never done anything like this in our lives. We've just stood in front and said, Gaby Seow, 5'4", based in Melbourne, hire me. So it was definitely, honestly, one of the most difficult things I have ever done up until this point in my life. So I've been on set for like uni projects because I've been on set for like uni projects because I did study film and television, but it was different being on like a professional set being run by us, where no one could tell me off. Well, they still told us off, but we were in charge of this thing, and it still didn't really feel like I was in charge of this thing. So it was difficult, and honestly, I have so much more respect for the crew now after working so closely with all of them, because all of them just know exactly what they're doing, and we would not have been able to do any of this without any of them, because I don't know how lighting works, and they killed it. They absolutely just got the brief. They honestly held our hand through it as well. So we love our crew, and we're so happy that they hopefully like us too. Anyways.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, when you walk into a room and you're like, where are the adults? Where are the people in charge? And we were meant to be the ones in charge, and we're like, someone else higher up in charge, come get us. And at the start of the process, me and Gabby were kind of like, so what exactly does a producer do? Like, they're so mysterious and elusive, and for some reason I thought their job was just to like secure the funds. Funds secured, and then I thought I could just kick back and relax. And it's kind of like, so who does the catering? Who finds the location? Who casts the people? Who does the contracts? Oh, all of that was producer stuff, like everything. So long story short, what does a producer do? Everything. And yes, thank you, Molly, for teaching us that very valuable lesson.
Well, if I can just say, I knew Jenny and Gabby beforehand, and I think that if you're an actor, you have to have a level of like awareness for what the industry is like, and obviously they're both really smart people. So I was like, these guys are obviously going to be good at producing and good at making a show. I wasn't like, I guess I'll help. It was like, I knew it was going to be super equal once we were all in it together, and it was the entire time.
And Molly, the next question is for you, just because you've had a lot of experience in applying for these sort of funding initiatives, and a lot of experience producing and making your own shows. So quite a few people are interested in like, what is the exact process to apply for these initiatives and funding from like the government or from YouTube? Do you have any tips? And how long did it take to apply normally?
Oh gosh. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna start again. Oh boy, okay, so I think applying for funding is like basically another job that you probably won't get paid for, because it takes so much work. Usually you have to do like a video pitch, and you have to do outlines for the thing that you're making, and you have to show how you would use the money a lot of the time. Like, it's very comprehensive. Look, I think the biggest thing is like, love the project you're doing, and if you can show why it's important that it gets made and why it matters, people see that, like people recognize that. And if you don't get it, keep trying. Like, I've gotten rejected for so many things, not even just funding applications, just things in life. I can't stop getting rejected for stuff. But you plow on, you keep trucking, and soon enough you get something that lands and people want to see it. And Celebration Nation was the first thing that I'd done the whole application for. Like, I've done a few other things, but that was the first thing I did it with Jenny and Gaby, and it was the first thing I'd gotten that I'd been that involved in, and it was so meaningful because I'd had so many no's already. It just made it like so much more special. But yeah, don't believe in your dreams, basically.
How much does it usually cost to make a YouTube series?
With this one, quite a lot of money. Thank goodness it wasn't our own money, but I wanted to say that you could definitely make a YouTube series for $0. You just have to put in your own time. Like, you could film it on an iPhone, you can edit it on iMovie or whatever program that comes with your computer. You can find your friends and creatives to act in it or work on it, do whatever you want. It's really like a passion project. So anywhere from $0 to a lot of dollars, but it's up to you. And I think it's a great way to practice for filmmaking, for acting, just making your own stuff.
Oh my gosh. I've made a couple of series before this one where I had no money, and I think the cheapest was like, I think we got like $700 in crowdfunding, and then on the more expensive end was maybe like $8,000, which was for lots of props, and it was set in the 90s, so that was really like different. But yeah, you're right, you can make it on, if you're willing to put in like a tiny bit of your own money just to buy people lunch, basically, you can make it on but a dime.
And I'll follow up on that question as well. If you're allowed to tell, how much funding did you get on this YouTube series? Are we allowed to say this?
I actually asked, I emailed and asked if we were allowed to disclose because it feels like quite secretive. So basically what we applied for was the Skip Ahead initiative, and I think it runs almost every year. It's a joint initiative between Screen Australia and Google YouTube. So they chose this year 6 YouTube creatives. So I'm pretty sure we all got the same amount. If we didn't, I guess we'll find out soon. But we all got $150,000. It sounds like a lot, but girls, do you want to break it down? Because everyone's going to be like, oh my god, you guys made so much money. You must be so rich now.
No.
You have to pay every single person in the cast and crew award rates, which is like the union allocated minimum rates. So which is what everybody deserves, by the way. But suddenly you are paying people, you can't just be like, oh, I'll give you $50 to help out. You have to pay everybody a decent amount of money because they're doing really hard work. So suddenly, just on people alone, you are spending, I don't know how much exactly, but so much of our money just went into the pockets of our employees.
I think we spent $90,000 on cast and crew, which is great. And it was so amazing to give people jobs and pay them.
That felt incredible.
There's also a lot of things that you don't think of that you need to pay for. Setting up a company, I think that was $1,000. Insurance, which, I mean, in hindsight, we should have known, but we didn't budget that much. But insurance was hefty. Payroll tax.
Don't forget my sick day.
Oh yeah, your sick day. Yeah, you had to pay for a lot of things, and that money goes very quickly.
Yeah, and a lot of people get pretty shocked when they're like, oh, you got that much money for like a TV show, yeah? And I'm like, no, it's a 7-minute episode going on YouTube.
Or like a YouTube Red, right?
YouTube Red. This is our audition for YouTube Red. But no, like there's so much that goes behind the scenes. That's why I guess, it's a multi-million-dollar industry in the whole world. Like it costs a lot to fairly pay everybody and also to just make content. So we're not rich. Please don't come steal or rob our houses.
And because it's our show and it's our baby, you want it to make it as good as possible. So our money, like our own paychecks, were the first thing to go because we were like, honestly, we'd rather not get paid and make something that's just like a little bit better than get paid and have something a little bit worse. You care a bit more.
So we've had a very special question come in. This one from Mr. Matthew, and he goes, is Molly single?
Matthew sounds disgusting. Actually, no, I'm married to a very old billionaire who I'm going to push off a boat and steal all his money soon. It's a long-term plan.
And I thought we'd end it on a fun question, which is, what is your guilty pleasure song, playlist, album at the moment? I'll go first. I just want to say it's probably every single song on TikTok, and right now it's definitely got to be, I don't know if it's the Russian song, the Rasputin one. It's really fun.
That just makes me think of Just Dance, maybe 2 or 3, because they have the mine is probably, this is embarrassing to admit, and it took me a long time to come around to this, but Olivia Rodrigo's album is really good. I was just like, no, you know what? I am past this. Like, I am an adult now. And then one day I was like, I have no new music to listen to. Let's just put it on. I've heard the songs on TikTok. I know what they go like. And there I was in the shower crying about this imaginary breakup I had. And it was really sad. So like, go Olivia Rodrigo. You are a little pocket rocket. You are young and like killing it. So I am a big fan.
So good. Look, I'm not even ashamed of this, so I don't know if it counts as a guilty pleasure, but same kind of energy. Doja Cat's new album, I cannot stop listening to on repeat. But that is a lot of TikTok music as well, so Jenny, I'm kind of in the same boat as you.
I wanted to thank Molly and Gabby for coming on the channel again. They didn't get paid for this, of course, because we don't have any more money left. But do you guys want to just let everyone know where you can find your Instagrams or your social presence? Gabby, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on gaby.seow, GABY.SEOW.
You can find me on Instagram at Molly Daniels, all one word, except the Daniels is with a Z at the end, not an S, because the S was taken.
And of course you can definitely see Gabby and Molly acting in a lot of various shows, from Young Rock to Get Crackin' to Ronnie Chang International Student and Tomorrow When the War Began. And you can obviously also catch them in the upcoming series. I heard it's really funny and really great, Celebration Nation. You can watch the trailer now. It's in the cards here and linked down below. And I'll see you guys next time for the launch of our show. Bye!